This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Make your kitchen ready for every summer gathering this Memorial Day with LG and Lowe's. Our exclusive InstaView appliance suite includes ranges with air fry, refrigerators with slow melting craft ice, and an exclusive dishwasher you can only find at Lowe's. Plus, you'll get up to 10% back via a MasterCard prepaid card when you bundle eligible LG products via rebate. Shop Memorial Day savings at Lowe's. Offer valid 3/3 through 5/18 on select LG items only. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details and timing.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard the tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. Back in 1985 at the American Music Awards, Night Ranger. Oh, I remember those guys.
That Sister
they presented.
Sister Christian.
Yeah, that's them. Yeah. That's exactly how it went.
That's all I know.
Thank God. I mean, no. Yeah. That's all you need to know.
Rude.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Back in 85, Night Ranger presented Prince with an award, and Jack Blades and Kelly Keegee from Night Ranger were chosen to present Album of the Year, and everyone pretty much knew it was going to be Purple Rain, including Prince's people they knew. So they sent Jack and Kelly some written instructions.
Oh, this should be good.
This is... They said, quote, "We want to inform you that in no way should Jack Blades or Kelly Keegee speak to Prince or touch Prince in any way, acknowledge him whatsoever."
So you can't touch him? I mean, isn't that the fun part of being around Prince is you get to touch him? That's such a weird part to bring up. Like, how often were people I guess if you, like, pat him on the back, shake his hand.
Hugging, shaking hands. Yeah. I mean, you win an award, everybody wants to give you love.
I just picture touching, like, you like get behind him and do a tickle or something like that.
Tickle.
Of course, you're talking Night Ranger. These guys are rockers. They're rebels. Jack's like, immediately, he's like, you know what? I wanted to break those rules as soon as they gave me those rules. So when Jack and Kelly found themselves seated behind Prince during the ceremony, they kept tapping him on the shoulder and talking to him and, quote, just pissing the blank out of him.
I love it. Because this just keeps confirming all the craziness. Remember the Chappelle Show? And they had out, Charlie Murphy and his experiences with Prince, like playing the basketball, and he's all still dressed in his crazy Prince outfit and all that stuff. And you're like, this just seems so absurd and so crazy. But then you hear other stories. You're like, Prince just kind of he marched to the beat of his own drum and just did what Prince wanted to do.
Yeah, they also congratulated him and his crew when they came up to accept the award, which of course they weren't supposed to do. And but here's the thing. Jack says that he ran into Prince at an award show about 20 years after the fact and said that Prince was actually really cool. So it's hard to know if it's just the PR people or if, in fact, Prince was that weird. It's really hard to know.
But, I mean, I feel like if you got to the point where you had to be specifically tell people not to... Something had to have happened that put Prince in a weird mindset. Like somebody touched him or, you know what I mean? Like in order for you to think of those kind of rules, something maybe happened in the past, whether or not Prince told them that this is how I want things done in the future, but maybe they witnessed something. They're like, yeah, we got to avoid dudes touching Prince.
Yeah, I mean, that's their job. I know that, look, I've had panic attacks myself whenever we've done some different live events, and it would have been great to have a no-touch rule or a no-talk-to-me rule in some situations like that. So maybe if people saw that and they were like, yeah, like you said, Steve, they figured it out. Social awkwardness is just not something we knew about back in 1985. You were either shy or you were outgoing.
Right.
It wasn't a thing where, like, oh, no, there are people that really just have a lot of social awkwardness and really just some tough stuff socially. So it could be that was part of that. And back then, he's going to look weird as opposed to maybe today where people have a little bit more understanding.
Huh. I want to get to that point where I have people to be like, you know what? Don't let people talk to me today. I'm not in the mood for it.
You really want that?
It was so funny. Like, not because it would actually bug me, but just to see how if they would actually succeed at it, or if like people would still come up and talk to me.
I think I'd rather like mess with people with it. Like,
yeah.
Look, Steve's here, and backstage, when Steve shows up, everyone has to put their hands in the air like a hallelujah thing, and just be like, Steve, and that's what you have to say. You have to hands up and go, Steve, and everyone in the room has to do that.
Yeah.
And then I could just like constantly walk into the room and then be like, oh, I forgot something. I'd walk out, walk back in, and then all of a sudden I have to keep doing that.
Are these people that don't know you or people that know? Yeah, see, I would be.
No, I wouldn't do it to my friends. I just want to do it to the common folk.
Yeah.
Well, you and Danny are just wonderful people.
It would be so great.
Well, there's stories of Maynard, like he would mess with the fans that they bring backstage. Like, they'd bring a bunch of people backstage, typically of the female variety, and like him and like other members of Tool, like they would like go in there and like do like they have the room dark and they have like flashlights and they point them in their face and ask them like really weird questions, like psychological questions.
Yeah, I've heard those stories, and I just like, okay, I guess this is what you're doing. Yeah, it's weird.
Mine's not that bad. If all I do is hands up, Steve.
Yeah, that's that's a lot better than Maynard. You're absolutely right. Yeah. I say I don't know about you, Steve, but I've had to deal with some of these things in our business where you got to go backstage and they got all these rules, or you're asked to do interviews and they have all these rules, and it just frustrates the hell out of me. It's just like, why are they even doing interviews? Don't even have to, don't even bother.
When they give you like a laundry list of rules, I'm just like, why not just say I can't come back here? Like, you're making it so obvious that you don't want us back here, but you want to play this like game with the radio station to still do stuff with us. But just say, hey, look, we don't want this. And then you can kind of figure it out from there. But like to say yes, but then make it so difficult that we hate the experience, I don't understand why that's any fun. That's why I love Metallica, man. Yeah. For many reasons, I love Metallica. It's just badass. But I'll never forget that experience when I got to do the stage announcement at what's now Lumen Field, but CenturyLink, when the last time they played there, which was just terrifying. Like the opportunity to be in front of that many tens of thousands of people, like that was a packed place. And going into it, I'm just like, I was terrified about being in front of that many people, but I was more terrified about what's it going to be like backstage. I'm just the annoying radio guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's how they always make you feel. Like whenever you do any of these things, more often than not, you're just that pain in the ass. Like you're a pimple on that man's ass. But unfortunately, we got to have him around. And then we pop him and kick him out. Yeah. But with Metallica, they made me feel like I was like the fifth member of Metallica. Like their management crew and then you realize, okay, this band's super successful and they associate themselves with people who know what they're doing with their job.
Exactly.
And they can still be cool to you while getting the job. They were very strict about certain things, but they did it in such a cool way. They made you feel welcome. That was like such like the manager's holding my phone so he could get pictures. Like they was just, and then when I finished doing it all, the manager came over to me and gave me a guitar pick. Like, hey, thanks a lot. That was cool. And I'm just like, what? Like we'll do it for like some unknown crappy band, and their management are like hate us dead up there.
Oh, dude, yeah, you've described. I mean, that's customer service right there, and I'm not surprised. Like you said, Metallica is an amazing success, and customer service usually follows that kind of deal.
Another band like that I was totally blown away by because I was not expecting it was Hailstorm, because it was my first time really interacting with a band kind of by myself because I was tasked to do like the meet and greet. So I'm like, hi, I'm here with the radio station. I'm on the morning show. I do this and stuff. And all of them ran up and hugged me in a big group hug. Thank you so much for having us here. And like as if I were the one picking the music. I mean, I wish I could, but it was just, they were so nice. Everyone they talked to, anybody who wanted a picture, signature, whatever, they spent their time talking to them, to us. And they're just really nice people. That made me feel so good.
Did every time Lizzie Hale walk in, everyone would put their hands up and go, Lizzie!
I think that's what I was reading. That's what's going to be happening from now on.
She said, I got this great idea from this guy in Seattle what I'm going to do.
I'm going to start doing that every morning when Steve walks in the studio.
The Sounders, when they do the Sounders chant where everyone puts their hands up in the air?
Yeah.
It's like that.
If there's more than 5 people, do we have to do the wave?
Yeah.
I should start getting Steve scarves. That way you guys should be like have a soccer club. It's Steve FC, BJ.
Steve FC.
Yeah. Vicky, could you do me a favor? Could you send an email to Steve saying I'm not going to be doing that every morning? Thank you. Thank you very much.
Would you wear my Steve scarf, though?
I'm not going to wear your Steve scarf.
Good, I wasn't going to give you one.
Yeah, not going to. It's an interesting
I love
thing.
that Vicky's now on the internet looking for like custom scarves.
Yes. I want to see if they make any.
Honest to gosh,
awesome.
this is her job.
Yes.
I mean, every once in a while I look at her and I go, we pay her for this. Basically, she's just a ADD theater like in her own bedroom doing this, and yet we bring her in a room to do the same thing she'd do in her own bedroom, and we pay her. And look at her face. She's like, I don't care. Say what you want about me. I'm still doing it. I don't understand. I don't.
She's not listening to you anymore, BJ.
Well, it's an interesting phenomenon, Steve, because I forget the athlete's name, but there was an athlete that said that she didn't want to do interviews anymore because it was just too stressful for her. And they're taking a look at a lot of different mental health situations where people don't want to have to interact with the press. And it's coming out. And I'm from the generation where it's like, look, that was part of the job. If you wanted to be an athlete, if you wanted to be an entertainer, you wanted to be anything, you had to interact with the press. You just had to do it. It was part of the job. Otherwise, you don't get the job. But now it seems there's a bit of a, you know what? We're starting to get to the Marshawn level where it's like, I don't want to do this. And I can come out and tell you I don't want to do this. And now they're saying from a mental health perspective, you kind of have to honor it. It's an interesting change in the way things are being done in the world of sports and entertainment.
I'd rather hear the interviews with the athlete that does want to talk to the press.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, I never cared, like, if you're the big star for a team and you're obviously just doing the interview because you're supposed to do an interview, I'd rather you just not do the interview. Like, it does me no good. You actually just wasted my time because I wanted to see if there was any cool feedback or insight about the game, whatever it may be. Like with the Marshawn stuff, I'm like, if you don't want to do it, then don't make him do it. Like, who gives a crap? Like, I'd rather have like Jamal Adams, for instance. I always like after a Seahawks game, I make it a point to watch like Cue It Up Sports solely because I know his press conference is going to be interesting.
Yes,
he's got a lot of energy. He is very willing to talk about whatever it is, about the game, win or lose. That's the guy. I mean, I'd rather, even if Jamal Adams wasn't a star player, and, I know he is, but like, even if he was just like middle of the road player, I'd rather hear from that guy every week as opposed to the superstar that has nothing to say.
And that's where I think the team or the band, they've got to find the person with the most personality, even if it's not the front man or even the lead guitarist, whatever. They got to find that one person who gets to come on and just be that person. Because we've had that happen, Steve, where at first it was like, oh, this is disappointing. We're doing an interview and the main dude's not coming out. But then they ended up actually sending out the two cooler people or whatever of the band, and we had a good interview. And I think, all right, at least they know who the good interactors are, and then it makes for a good interview. But yeah, you're right, Steve. I mean, we've had some painful interviews where it's like, I know you're the star of the band, at least you sing all the songs or whatever, but wow, you probably should have somebody else come out and do some stuff. And I remember that with Cheap Trick. Bunny Carlos was the guy who really did all the talking, even though he wasn't the lead singer.
Well, and that's the coolest name.
Yeah, well, and he had the good personality, and it was like, all right, well, that's who you want to hear from. So, yeah. So, Steve, I guess in a way, maybe we should probably do that thing. Go get the Steve scarf.
She's literally doing it right now, BJ. Like, she's making a font. And
how does she think this is part of her job, Steve? How does she believe that?
I don't have the heart to tell her it's not.
I mean, if we were doing a review of her right now, if we were like, okay, let's take a look at your work. It's time for your employee review. Nobody asked her to do this, and yet she's doing it.
I mean, 2 thumbs up for effort, though.
See, you're the problem. You should not thumbs up this.
I was going to say, Steve's just going to get a scarf out of this, so that's why he's...
So really...
I don't like the font.
No, I'm looking to see what font.
Okay, now I have the... Okay, I can't... I really...
Look at that one.
That one looks like a party waiting.
Yes.
I really don't know how
this should be the new thing we sell.
How did this become my life? I mean, does anybody on this show even listen to anything I say?
What?
Why?
Yeah, okay. Why? How about Vicky decided not even to say what? She was just like, no, I'm going to say why. Why would I bother?
Why?
All right, well, that's Fantastic.
Well, let us know if you want to be a part of the pre-order for the Steve Ming scarf, DJ. So far, we've got one
Steve,
sale.
I'll have my people get back to you on that, okay?
Is there a minimum order?
I'm not sure what I'm looking. I'm designing first
Why
to see
are
how
you
many.
asking her to do more research on this dumb thing?
I don't know.
Clip art, I can put smiley faces and soccer balls.
All the balls.
Give me
Put
all
as
the
many
balls.
balls as possible on my
All the
scarf.
balls. One ball.
We did this. My generation did this. I mean, my
Two
generation
balls?
raised Vicky. Somehow we made them think this was being a good employee. I mean, somehow she thinks she's doing a great job.
I know
Look at
I'm
her
doing
face.
a great job.
She thinks she's a good worker. You're doing absolutely nothing.
This is the perkiest she's been all morning.
Yeah.
I know.
Is working on a scarf that we're not even going to make.
That we didn't ask her to really look up. And look, she's not deterred. She's just doing it.
So instead of Steve FC, how about F Steve? Then
F
F
Steve?
you, Steve F you.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, Football United. That's
Yes.
what it is. Yeah, Steve Football United. F you, Steve. Yeah.
Steve F you.
Okay.
Now we got Vicky working on that.
Yes, we do. This is wonderful. Okay, well, while she's doing that, I guess, we'll move on. That's all right. We don't need her, right?
No.
Okay, good. Because we're not going to get her anyway. What do you think is the top item that people are embarrassed to purchase?
Scarf.
I mean, outside of the Steve F.U. scarf. I'll tell you at 8:17 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Make your kitchen ready for every summer gathering this Memorial Day with LG and Lowe's. Our exclusive InstaView appliance suite includes ranges with air fry, refrigerators with slow melting craft ice, and an exclusive dishwasher you can only find at Lowe's. Plus, you'll get up to 10% back via a MasterCard prepaid card when you bundle eligible LG products via rebate. Shop Memorial Day savings at Lowe's. Offer valid 3/3 through 5/18 on select LG items only. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details and timing.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. Well, there's a new survey that says that 75% of us got issues. Yeah. Yeah, and that's when it comes to buying embarrassing products. Apparently, like 3 out of 4 of us are just embarrassed about some things, and we want to hide them. We, as a matter of fact, we try to hide some of these products we're embarrassed about with making larger purchases. And that was
so that it gets lost in the shuffle?
Yeah, exactly. And almost 9 out of 10 of us would rather buy some of these embarrassing things online, even if it was more expensive. And that's where the Amazons of the world really make out. Because, I will go online with this one. I do not want to buy some of these, I don't want to buy hemorrhoid cream in front of everybody. That's one of the things.
I'm trying to think of if there's anything that I would feel really self-conscious about buying. And I can't think, maybe like in my early 20s, going to a store and to buy condoms. I remember thinking they're going to judge me. I don't know why. I'm practicing safe sex. I don't understand why that would be a bad thing. But I remember trying to buy a bunch of stuff that I necessarily didn't even really need, like a bag of chips and, things that are really not necessary. But that way when they're ringing it up and I'd put the condom package face down. So it would just go through the scanner and hope that, but I remember one time, the lady just did and started talking to me about something about my day, and she just held the box in her hand, like she hadn't scanned it yet. So we're just talking. I'm starting to sweat. I'm just ring that freaking box up. Let's go. Come on.
Do you think she noticed it, or did she just do it automatically?
Looking back on it, maybe she knew it, and that's just her way of making someone feel awkward.
I love it.
Oh yeah, that's a good troll. That is a very, very good troll.
Granted, they were the Micro Mini brand, but that's kind of rude to.
Be proud of yourself, Steve, and what you got or don't got.
Yeah, if you get the Micro Mini brand, though, you might actually look pretty impressive if it doesn't, you're like, I had a hard time getting this on. I don't understand it. This is a Magnum.
Well, what if you did walking up with the Magnum and then you really made it put it on top of the stack of things? Be like, oh, don't forget to ring up my Magnum condoms. Is there a sale on my Magnum condoms?
Yeah, I'm sure somebody's done that. I know somebody's done that. Condoms were the number one thing that we are very embarrassed to buy still.
Funny. I never was like that. I never was like that, embarrassed to buy them for some reason. It was just like, yeah, here you go.
Yeah, that was, if back in my 20s, if there was the internet, where you could purchase things easily, like how we do now, I would have probably just only ordered condoms online.
It makes sense, but at the same time, it was more of almost like a weird flex for me of being like, yeah, I need those.
I mean, great, yeah, my issue, I only had to encounter it maybe twice a year. And it was a single pack.
Yeah.
See, it was more awkward for a girl, especially when you're a teenager, 17, 18, 19 years old, going in, you're like, what if someone sees me? What if my teacher sees me? Or someone tells my mom? That kind of a thing. But we had a girl on our campus. We called her the condom girl because she would sell the condoms. She'd just buy a big pack and sell them individually. And I guess she made bank because she kept doing it.
That's a great idea.
It was brilliant. Because it's hey, you got one? Okay, cool. Here's some money.
Yeah, someone said condoms are locked behind the glass in Walmart, and the cashier has to grab them in front of the whole line. That just adds to the embarrassment. But I understand why, because people probably shoplift them because they're embarrassed to buy them.
Yeah. Same with the pregnancy test and,
And Sudafed.
And Sudafed. I'm embarrassed
pregnancy tests are on this list too, Vic. Yeah, people are very embarrassed to get pregnancy tests. And emergency contraceptives, people are embarrassed about getting those. That's number 2 on the list.
We're living our life very shy and quote unquote embarrassed about sexual stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we really shouldn't, because at the end of the day, everybody's doing it.
Yeah, but we've, Steve, as a society, unfortunately, we've made it a very bad thing.
No, I get it, but it's just it's so silly, because what are you doing? You're just buying a pregnancy test, or you're just buying a pack of condoms, or maybe some fancy ass lube or something like that.
Fancy ass lube.
It's a brand.
Can I get the FLA, please?
Oh my God.
The FAL.
If there is no such thing as a fancy ass lube brand, I want to make that brand now.
Go on the internet. You can do it for everything else. Might as well figure it out.
Don't tell her to go on the internet, then she's gone. She's not on the show anymore. There she goes. She's looking it up.
Oh, I can do it.
There's no brand?
No.
Okay.
Don't continue to have her. So, Steve, you said there are things that you wouldn't, you go, I don't think I'd be embarrassed about stuff. But people are embarrassed about buying anything that has diarrhea relief in it.
I've never had to buy anything like that.
Really? You just dealt with it? Or you never had diarrhea?
Or I feel like...
I just kind of, I know I just have to deal with it, because eventually it's going to stop.
Oh, you can make it go quicker. You can make it stop a lot quicker. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's Pepto-Bismol is my jam.
Oh, no, I don't F with that stuff, man.
Oh, Pepto-Bismol is I love Pepto-Bismol.
That pink crap?
Oh, it tastes so much better than any other medications, like the cherry-flavored cough syrup. I can't. I'd rather drink Pepto-Bismol as
I'd rather have
milkshake.
Diarrhea than drink Pepto-Bismol.
I agree with you, but for a different... I had a bad experience with the Pepto-Bismol one time, so...
How could you have a bad experience? It's meant to get rid of bad experiences.
No, it was a bad... I was sick, and I thought it was just a stomach ache, but it was food poisoning. So I took a bunch of Pepto-Bismol to make myself feel better. Well, it just all came up, and it was... After that, I was like, I can never drink this stuff
Pepto-Bismol
again.
will make me hurl.
Yeah.
I don't know, just the consistency and the taste of it is just nasty.
My mind tells me it's an elixir of the gods, because it does what it does. It works for me. And so, therefore, I know it's not the greatest taste in the world, but as soon as it hits my lips, it's like, I know I'm going to get better. So it is amazing. And it does. For me, because I had issues. And sometimes you got to drive, and you're like, oh my gosh, I got to go drive. I am not going to be able to last to get home. So I go get a couple of tablets, because they have it in tablet form too. You can go chew it, and it works every time.
That might be more tolerable. I just think about when I was a kid and I had that liquid, that pink. It just looked like pink paint.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pour it into onto a spoon.
Oh, it tastes so good. Oh,
it tastes so good.
I got it now. I'm like, Pepto-Bismol.
You just drink it now if you want.
Yeah, make a cocktail out of it.
Yeah, it'd probably be better with some vodka.
Yeah, it probably does, except it's a medicine.
Hey, someone brought up a good point. I normally hate self-checkout, but it's great for hiding embarrassing purchases.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Another texter said one time I was in line with condoms and my high school teacher got in line right behind me.
Yeah, that's embarrassing.
Or is it?
Was she hot?
Dear Penthouse, I never thought this would happen to me.
Yeah, unless it's that old professor, then you go, dear police officer, I think I'm being stalked.
Oh boy.
Head lice treatment. What if you had to buy stuff for that, Steve? You wouldn't care?
That'd make it worse.
I don't even know.
This guy's buying a head lice treatment. Where's the lice?
See, I think if you have to buy it for your kids, it makes it's a statement of like, my house isn't clean. Is how I look at it, that my kid got head lice. That's what I always remembered.
I don't even know why you would get head lice. Yeah, I never understood that. Luckily, I've never had it. I remember that would always be like the most traumatic thing is being in line to be tested.
Yeah.
Checked for lice in school, and then someone gets pulled out of the line. You're like, Charles has lice.
Yeah.
Exactly, Steve. So you wouldn't be embarrassed over that?
Well, I've never had I don't even know where to get head lice medication.
Well, you would know. You would know if you needed it. That's the
glad
point.
I don't.
They have it at most stores, like a Target, or
Walgreens.
grocery store.
Yeah, I mean it's a common thing for that it happens to kids, especially when you got school kids.
Lily got it like twice because
Lice?
there was a huge outbreak at her school in Albuquerque, and it was like we had to go and get the shampoo and the gloves and all.
Did
that
you feel badly, going through the line with them, Danny?
No, not at all. I don't understand people who get embarrassed by their purchases. This list doesn't make sense to me.
Also, I mean, when you think about it, like in a sea of purchases, like that cashier has seen everything.
Right. Like, does the cashier really care? I'd like to talk to a cashier. Like,
I used to be a cashier. I noticed when people were buying stuff.
Yeah, but my fear would be, I don't know if you guys deal with this wherever you go shopping, but there's always that one cashier that wants to ask you about every single freaking purchase that you're making. Like, they'll be like, oh, I see you got an eggplant. What do you plan on doing with that eggplant? Shoving it up somewhere. And it's like, I don't know. Oh, look, you got a cake mix. What kind of cake are you making? I know they're doing small talk, but it's like, man, I didn't know I was going to be quizzed. I'm just buying the things my wife told me to buy. I have no idea what we're doing with this crap.
Yeah, they got to be able to read the room. I mean, you got to take a look at the person in line and see, do they look like the talkie type? I wish they would do that, or at least have the stores understand you can't just talk to everybody, because nobody wants you to ask them about their eggplant.
I don't mind talking to someone, but you're putting a lot of pressure on me. I was like, I have no idea what we're going to do with these cucumbers. I assume chop them up and eat them.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask, like, maybe the things that one individual thing isn't a bad thing or embarrassing thing to buy, but what if you buy multiple items? Do you add other stuff to make it look less bad? Like, if you buy cucumber and condoms, like, should I add more salad ingredients to prove that I'm making a salad, even though I already have all the other ingredients at home? Like, that's like when you add random things, it gets a little creepy. Did you ever think of that? Like, wow, this person is buying, an axe, cat food, and a cage. Like, what the hell's going on here? Like, no? You never thought that?
Well, I suppose if it's an axe, cat food, in a cage, I'd be thinking, he's probably going to go hang out with Steve.
But if they have lice medication, that's where it gets weird.
Right?
Someone said that you could use mayonnaise as a way to get rid of lice.
That makes sense.
Okay, well, I think I'm going to go get the professional stuff. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'll go.
So what do you do? Just like take a bunch of mayo and just slather it in their hair?
Yeah, why not? I used to do that with glue, so mayo can't be any worse.
Mayo head.
Don't listen to Danny. Don't listen to
multiple
Steve.
texters are saying this. Like,
Just because multiple texters say it doesn't mean that it's a thing.
Yes, it does. If I read it on the text line, it's true.
All right, fine. Well, I would probably consult my physician and find out what I'm supposed to use.
According to Healthline, they don't recommend it.
Here we go.
But they don't say you can.
Some people believe that smothering treatments can stun the lice, but it's not going to kill them. It's going to make them easier to catch. However, my mom used to put mayonnaise in my hair to make it softer.
Okay, what is happening?
No, that's a thing. A lot of people put mayonnaise in their hair.
I just put it on my sandwiches. I guess I'm the weird one.
It was a Vicky sandwich,
Yeah. What about adult diapers for incontinence? Would that embarrass you?
I don't know. Does it embarrass you when you get them, BJ?
Hey, that's rude.
Yeah, I did. And of course, that time of the month products, Vicky. Did that ever embarrass you?
No, but I like seeing like the young cashiers like that are probably new, and they kind of look at me all like, "Oh, I gotta hide these." It's like, bro, I can't help it. It's just it is what it is. I'm not embarrassed. I used to be, but I'm not anymore. It's like, why would I be?
Well, because you were before, so I guess.
Well, when you're a teenager, you're told to be embarrassed about everything about your body.
Yeah. Oh, there is that. Yeah.
See, I like that. I have like one of those like little like joke shirts that make it look like you like some witness of like a murder scene, like it's all bloody and stuff, like the like little blood spots, and then I go there and get the feminine product. Like I need to go.
You have done that, really?
No, of course not. I wouldn't do that. That'd be gross.
Come on.
But I haven't done it because I don't really own one of those shirts. Otherwise, I totally would.
You got to get one. You really
right? Could you imagine showing up to a store and you have like just like the little shopping basket and it's got like 10 of the feminine products. And then your shirt is like a fake bloody shirt. Like,
That's
hurry
the
up
way
and
to
bring
go.
this up. I have a problem.
It'd be even better if it was like Halloween and you get that fake blood, so it's not just like a cartoon blood that you
so
have
it's
on
like
your
on you, all over you?
and then it's like one bar of chocolate. It's like, I need this. Hurry up.
Let's go.
Well, we're a healthy show because 72% of the people in this survey said that it's not just the cashier they're worried about. They don't want other shoppers seeing what's in their cart because they feel that they'll be judged. And they say it's because, well, they tend to judge other people, and that's why. So I guess you guys are, you're not the normal American. There's a lot of judging going on over there, a lot of embarrassment. What I suggest is to get everything on this list and buy it at one time. And see, right. That's the gambit. Bed bug spray. We didn't even talk about the bed bug spray. Head lice treatment, hemorrhoid cream.
What aisle is that in?
Diarrhea relief. Well, bed bugs are a thing, so it's
I know
probably
they're a thing, but can you buy them at a grocery store?
I'm sure you can.
Where you get like the
bug spray stuff.
The bug spray and ant removal stuff.
Interesting.
Probably.
Thankfully, never have had a problem with that.
Yeah, I know. Well, see, would you feel bad if you had to buy bed bug spray?
No.
All right.
I wouldn't even, as a cashier, I probably would look at it and be like, I don't even know what this is.
For a lot of them, they just probably grab it and just scan it and just throw it in a bag. They're not even not everybody wants to know what you're using every product for. I've just been lucky enough to have that person. But and then judging other people, I'm on my phone typically when someone's bringing, when they're someone in front of me and they got a button, they're going through the cashier. I'm not paying attention to anything. I'm just playing on my phone and just kind of killing time until it's my turn.
Yeah,
if that's really true, then it is too bad that people are so worried about something that's not happening.
Right.
The only time I feel like I've ever judged anyone is when I see them and they're buying a bunch of health food crap, and I'm like, oh, that person, why?
Are you mad at them for being healthy?
I'm like, go get the frozen pizza and add it onto your kale.
Okay, so now you are judging, so it's just for a different reason. All right.
You should be embarrassed buying kale. That's what I'm saying.
I do smile when I see someone just buying just a crap ton of booze and just meat. And I'm like, they have something fun planned.
Yeah, booze and meat.
Right.
That's it. Oh, yeah. Yesterday, Steve, he did get this one wrong.
What kind of animal is Filbert in the animated show Rocko's Modern Life?
Yeah.
An elephant?
No.
Bert, he's an anteater.
No. Wow.
Thank you for that.
He's a monkey.
No.
Oh, he's not. Danny was the only one that really knew or cared. He was a turtle. Yes, he was.
Mm-hmm. I like turtles.
Yeah, we do. You want a shot at beating Steve? You got it. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Miggs at 8:49 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. How do I know if bankruptcy is going to provide me with relief? What are the steps for my situation?
There's so much information out there about bankruptcy with the internet and what people have heard from friends and other people that they've talked to about their financial issues or bankruptcy. There's also a lot of bad information out there or urban legends about bankruptcy. In order to determine whether bankruptcy makes sense for you, you need to talk to an attorney that's experienced in bankruptcy. So in order to determine whether bankruptcy makes sense for you, you should talk to an experienced bankruptcy attorney. And my job is not to convince you to file bankruptcy. My job is to help you to make that decision and have all the facts so that you can make an informed decision about whether bankruptcy makes sense for you, what benefits it's going to have for you, and what the downside of filing bankruptcy is.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
Make your kitchen ready for every summer gathering this Memorial Day with LG and Lowe's. Our exclusive InstaView appliance suite includes ranges with air fry, refrigerators with slow melting craft ice, and an exclusive dishwasher you can only find at Lowe's. Plus, you'll get up to 10% back via a MasterCard prepaid card when you bundle eligible LG products via rebate. Shop Memorial Day savings at Lowe's. Offer valid 3/3 through 5/18 on select LG items only. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details and timing.